So, hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I have Moses Idris, and we are going to be talking about Black men and mental health. And I know that you guys know how passionate I am about mental health because that's something that I personally struggle with a lot. So I have Moses here to basically share a little bit of his story on how mental health like kind of took over a little bit of his life and how he overcame that, and what are some of the coping strategies that he used to kind of deal with that. So when we talk about mental illness in the Black community, it is so taboo, and I said it so many times, and because it is so taboo, we are just taught to pray it off, suck it up, and just not even think about it, like it's not an issue. And being in an African community is even worse, because our parents don't know how to deal with that. And so when we say we're stressed out, I've heard so many stories about, how my parents ran from war, walked to school for days, and it didn't emotionally affect them. And so why am I stressed out over a few homework, right? Why am I being stressed out? So I feel like a lot of our, some parents do a lot of comparison between when they were our age and, versus like us. And so therefore we shouldn't be stressed out because we're young and we don't have a lot of things on our plate. But this is a perfect time for people our age to be into the mental health and like be stressed out like really bad. And not mentioning that living in America, being a Black man in America, it's not easy, and being a Black Muslim woman in America is definitely not easy either. So how did you cope with like that? And I guess like what caused you to have mental issues?
Yeah. All right. First of all, I just want to say thank you for Nadifa for doing all the work that you do in the community. You go to school, and I don't know if you still work. Do you still work, or
yes.
you just? Yeah, she still works.
How do you think his bills pay themselves?
I don't know. When you used to be here, you used to work, but I don't know if you found a job there, and then
I didn't find a sugar daddy yet.
Oh gosh.
I'm working on it. So yes, I'm still working.
All right. But I just want to say thank you to Nadifa because she cares really deeply about this, and she's done a lot of work in the community just to help people, and so I appreciate her for that. I just want to make a quick disclaimer before I say anything. That is, I am not a doctor. I'm not a mental health practitioner or whatever. Yeah, it is, but I'm just a guy who as Nadifa, who cares about people, who wants other people to be cared for, to be loved, and to have good life and to be supported. So I'm gonna share what I know from my own perspective, and I'm gonna share my experiences. So hopefully that other people can learn from my story, my experiences, and share learn the strategies that I've learned, that I've used, so they can also manage their mental health and be at a better state of mind.
Yeah.
So I just want to start with what she said earlier about how it is taboo in the African communities to talk about mental health. And as she said before, we, especially in the immigrant refugee community, our parents have gone through a lot, and even though they didn't have the opportunities or the resources to be guided on how to manage their health, or at least their mental health. So when we come here, usually they don't know how to raise us in that way. And some parents are better because they are raised in a household where everybody shares their emotions. Everybody is cared for. So some people are raised better, and some people they don't know how to manage and their mental health. So that's why it's a taboo to talk about about mental health in the African community. So, but the only way is our daily life. Like she said, we're students, we work, especially our young people today. As soon as they finish high school, they're gonna go to work and start college. That's the pressure we have in today's world, because you have to learn a lot of things to be able to keep up with the world and how it's changing.
Yes.
So
and I think the reason why, sorry, and I think
Yeah.
the reason why some of our parents,
Mhm.
you know, don't get why we're so stressed out is because we understand the struggle that they had to go through for us and to get us to where we are today. So we want to take on the pressure. Like we want to like provide, like have a good life, you know, make sure that they have a good life. So we put ourselves through like working, you know, 2 jobs and going to school, and you know, so we can be financially stable, so we can take care of our parents and eventually have a family of our own. So I don't think they really understand that. And I also think there's a lot of lack of communication, you know, because how many of us really sit down and like try to talk to our parents and try to explain to them, you know, how we feel. And we don't do that. And some of us who do, you know, it backfires. You know, then our parents think that we think they are dumb or not knowledge enough, and that we're smarter. But it's always good to try. Like all you could really do is try and try and try. But
yeah, that kind of goes into my next topic about how we feel obligated to support our family and to support ourselves. And you know, as an African community, as Africans, we all want everybody to eat, right?
Oh
You know?
yes.
We all want everybody to be supported, to be cared for, to be loved for, and we do in the people that I have in my life. Thankfully, they all want better for other people.
Yes.
So, for all of us, we all want to do better for ourselves, and we want to do better for our family and our community. So we put ourselves in that mentality that I have to work hard, I have to do all of these things, I have to go to school, have a job, and be in the community, so that I can be able to support the people that I love and care for. So that kind of goes into my my next topic that my next kind of subject or area that I want to talk about, because that's how I got myself into a mental breakdown. Because as Nadifa and as a lot of people that I know, we do a lot of stuff. We have our own full-time job, and we go to school, but we have our own side project that we like to start. We're doing to support our community. So I was just about a couple of years ago, I was doing a lot. You know, I was going to school full time. I had a full-time job, and I was doing interpreting for different agencies, and I was managing that pretty well. But at some point, I hurt my knee at work. You know, I used to work at Target, and I would climb up ladders, and unfortunately, I hurt my knee, both my knees at work, and I needed to get 2 knee surgeries to fix that. And after that, for me as a black person or as a person, when I don't feel like I'm not doing well, I just break down. For me, it's just like that. I don't know how other people are, but it is in my mentality that it is my obligation to support my family, to be there, and I want to do better for my family or for my community. So I was taking out a lot. I was putting too much on my plate. But if my health was good, I would have handled it. But I had I had to get 2 knee surgeries, and I could not even walk. So I was not able to drive, and it was just a really bad time in my life.
You felt like you kind of felt like as a man, like, you know, because you know, like, aren't you the oldest in the family?
I'm in the middle. Yeah.
You know, so you felt like,
I like to say I keep things under control.
yeah, you like to keep things under control, and you just feel powerless. You feel very powerless. So yeah.
So that's how I got myself into mental breakdown, and I had to go to mental institution for like 2 weeks to just gather myself, because I was worrying too much for myself and for my family's future, and I could not. For some reason, I was not able to stop my worry, because I didn't know what the future holds, you know. So I just let it go down, down. I don't know, for some reason, in some ways I couldn't handle it, but I don't know, because I was going through so much, but I just let it go down, down, until I reached, you know, I had to be in mental institution and be put on like some medication to help me. And it was just the worst time, because I was not able to plan anything for my life. And usually I go by plan. I do a lot of stuff, and I put everything in my schedule, and I was not able to manage my schedule, or just my emotions were just out of control. So after that, I have to like take it easy and take one step by one step, and do what I had to do for that day to manage my mental health. So when I'm talking about this, one thing that I want to mention is that everybody's gonna have their different challenges. Mine was just I had to get two knee surgeries, and I have to, I wanted to support my family, but in some ways that I can't. But different people are gonna have their different challenges. You know, you may have just challenges with your school. You may have relationship problems. You may have different problems. But that one thing that I want to mention is you have to put your mental sanity first. You have to put everything. If you go to school, if you go to work, whatever you are, you have to. Your attitude, your mental health should come first. I know that a lot of people put themselves through a lot. You know, like go to a job that they don't like, so they can support their family. But at some point, even if you struggling through that, at some point you have to have a better plan of how you're gonna have a better life after that. You know, for that time you may have to go through that, but have a plan, have a vision where you want to end up. You know, that have a vision where your mental health is not attacked, and that you have people that they can support you. That's one thing that I want to mention too. That if you have people that are the right people, you're not gonna have so much problems. You're not gonna have so much anxiety, because you're also gonna have assurance. And I want to thank my family for being there too, because they were always there. They always wanted to take care of me. They would want to know what was wrong with me, and they would support me through that process. And I was able to get better and with my knee, and I'm able to get back on track and go to school. And hopefully I'll be graduating in May in about 4 months. So thank God. But that's what I want. That's what I want to mention as well. That you may have different challenges, but you gotta know they're temporary. Cause what I was thinking in my mind is gonna be permanent. That I'm not gonna get better. So everything comes by seasons, you know. So take it one step at a time. And whether you're working on your financials, or whether you're working in school, whether you're working on your physical health, your mental health, and you just gotta keep working on it one step at one step. And I want to go back to how it's a taboo, and because some people really do have problems with like controlling their emotions, right?
Yeah. So how, because like not a lot of us practice emotional or know a lot about emotional intelligence, like, right? So I guess one of the question is like, how do you personally cope with your emotions? When I was going through my mental breakdown, I was told by numerous people, you know, and it's funny because when you are in situations like this, that's when people's true color kind of show up. And at the same time, you know, you get to know who people really are and how people cope with their emotions, and it's completely fine. Like, we all have different coping strategies. But when I was like kind of complaining or crying to a friend or a few friends, I was told to just smoke a blunt, and you know, like, hey man, just smoke a few blunt and it's gonna be all right. And so I didn't want to do that, because in my mind I'm like, if I smoke this blunt and all my problems go away, I would love to. But I just know that it's something that's gonna be another problem. It's gonna like basically me doing that's gonna cause another problem. And so I had to find different ways to cope with my emotions rather than just like, you know, get drunk or sweep it under the rug. So the first thing I did was I acknowledge my emotions. It's really good to you know, self-evaluate. So like if you are angry, acknowledge that you're first angry, but then try to figure out what made you angry. And so you, next time, you know, you could, you know, like it's very important to just be on the know about your emotions. And so I always like to know what made me upset. And when I'm upset, I know I can't be around people because it makes me even more upset. And I could say things that will hurt other people's feelings. So what I do is I isolate myself. But in a way, it's a good kind of isolation because I go and I self-evaluate. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, this probably wasn't worth it. Why am I so upset about this? And I also had to be on medication, and that's one thing I was gonna ask you. When you were told to be on medication, how did you feel? Like, because it is such a taboo thing, and it's not a serious thing in our community. When people say you are gonna be on medication, like they're first of all they're thinking that you're crazy. Like you must be crazy to be on medication. It's very important to take care of your mental health, just like you take care of your physical health. You know, we're so worried about our body not being shaped. We're so focused on that. But if this is not okay, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. So Moses, when you were first told that you had to be on anxiety medication, depression medication, or anything like that, what was your first reaction, and how did other people react?
So for me, at first it was just my family, you know, my family. So they didn't know what was going on with me, and they tried everything, and I wasn't getting better. So they had to take me to a mental health institution, and they had to evaluate me, and they had to do all of that. And they told me I have to be on medication. So for me, at first, it wasn't that much of a big deal for me because I know I needed help. I was willing to get any kind of help that I was gonna get to get back on track, but I had it too because after I was able to get back to to the community, I would have to take it like 3 times a day, and sometimes I would not like. Sometimes I would be in events and I would have to take the medication, but I would not take it right away. Like I would not take it in front of people. So I would hide myself and I would take it. So I didn't share it with a lot of people, but I shared with some people. And for me, I have a lot of supporting people. I don't have
I'm surrounded by different energies.
Yeah. And one thing that I want to mention is that, some people do really have like anxiety and depression.
Oh, I struggle with that every day.
Yeah. And one thing that I used to say that I'm kind of like reevaluating is like people would just tell you just to be happy, Yeah. Like they would say like just smoke a blunt and be happy,
Yeah.
But that's not like if you have anxiety and depression, like people in Africa can be happier than you. Like I had that experience, People who have nothing. Because they know how to manage their emotions, they can be happier than you. And you can have everything in the world, You can have anything in the world, but still feel bad about yourself. And that's why people are people commit suicide. Like there's a lot of famous people. They have everything. They have the most beautiful wife. They have like the most beautiful house. They have everything. They're like famous people. And then they commit suicide because they were not able to share their emotions.
If you're not okay here, nothing else matters.
Nothing else matters. So that's what I said. That's why I said earlier. Like on top of your jobs, your family, like in 2020, at least, like put your mental health a priority. And if anybody in your life like is not supporting you to be positive and to support you in any way, like you have to leave that like behind.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I understand that this is a long video, but it has to be because, there's a lot of important information that we want to, talk about and bring that to light so people know that you're not alone. Because I wish I would have seen a video like this, you know, somebody that looked like me would have been like, oh my gosh, I you know, this is what I'm going through, and this is how I overcame that. And you know, this is not like a day thing. You don't get over it one day.
No.
It's a process. It's a very long process, and especially if you feel like you are obligated to be on the go every day and work, and this happens to you, you just like, you know, you lose your brains. I'm a very active person, and it doesn't matter what I do, what is me, like I have to be active. Like I have to get up, even that just like driving around town. I don't care. I just can't be sitting still.
No.
That's just not me. You know, I need to be on the go. And sometimes people around me feel that pressure. They're like, when I'm around you, I feel like I have to do so much. And it's like, no, I've never opened my mouth to tell anyone you have to do anything. You feel that pressure because you lazy and you know you're not doing enough. But it's completely fine to, you know, to address mental health, and it's absolutely fine to ask for help. We both wouldn't be here if it wasn't for people that were there for us and supporting us and being good listeners. But before I end this, I really, you know, you can also share a message, but my message is really like to everybody, but since this video is mainly, you know, for Black men, is that we see you, I see you, and you are loved and appreciated. We see you put in the hard work, and don't let, you know, society expectations or other people's expectation put you down. And like, you know, it's okay to cry once in a while. I know for a fact that that's the most therapeutic thing that you could do. We are actually advised to cry once a week if we can. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm just like the most emotional person you can ever come across. Like I literally cry about talking about pencils because I'm just, you know, I'm like, I gotta let my emotions out. I love this pen and it's just beautiful, and oh my gosh, I just can't. And so it's very important to not suppress your emotions. You know, that's one of the dangerous things you could ever do, because later on it catches up. And I also want my brothers to understand that it's okay to really pick up the phone and be like, hey, I'm not okay today. This is what's going on. And I'm like, hey, how can I help you? And so I see you're doing awesome. Don't give up. And we hope that we kind of inspire you and motivate you in some way, shape, or form. Whether that's like you were probably waiting to hear someone say, get up and go get help, or, you know, be out there and like try to seek help, or whatever it is. And so I hope you guys kind of learned something from this, and yeah,
just to add on top of that, like I said earlier, everybody's gonna have different challenges, and everybody has different commitments. So whatever your commitment is, first put your mental health a priority, and work on improving. You know, like you may have a lot of things that you want to improve, but you cannot do all of them at once, and that's something that I still need to learn too.
Yes.
We have, as Black people, as Black men, like this topic is Black men and mental health. You know, we feel obligated to support our families, to do all of these things, and to provide a better life for like in our community and be somebody. You know, we have that pressure, and we want to do better, but do not go all just to meet some people's expectation. You know, just do it because you want to do it out of your own heart, and that you want to do better for your family, for yourself. So our mental health, our physical health, it's all important, and we have to take care of ourselves first. So whatever process or whatever you're working on, or whatever level you're in this process, whether if you need to get help or if you need to work on your character. You know, we were wanting to talk about toxic masculinity, and you know, as Black people, as men,
talk about that in another video.
Yeah, as men, we can talk about that. Yeah, so as men, we feel obligated, but that toxicity is gotta go. You know, it's all gotta be about positive vibes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All 2020 and the year after and the year after. And the year after. But yeah, so thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you, for those who made it throughout the end of the video. Thank you for your commitment and your love and support. and I will see you guys in the next video. And once again, thank you so much for being part of this video. This is a part of something bigger, something greater, and this whole thing is just to educate people and to show people that, you know, that we know, like, basically, like, shared so much love. Like, we have so much love to give, and we want other people to feel that love, feel that energy, because energy is contagious, you know. So if you feel at your best, other people are going to feel at their best. So, you know, although we don't feel at our best all the time, but we have so much love and so much positivity that we want to push forward to other people. So we want you to feel that energy. And so I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, your night, whatever you're part of, whatever you are in the world. And so I'll see you guys next time. As I always say, if you have any suggestion on what you want to see on my channel, please do not forget to let me know. I'll put my social media links down below, as well as his, because he does so much in one day. Like, it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. I didn't know about that. It is mind-blowing. So I'll see you guys next time, and bye.
Peace.